Muscarelle in the house. Do not attempt to adjust your computer screens, because we are in there. Hey folks, my name is Steve Prince, and I'm the Director of Engagement at the Muscarelle Museum at William & Mary. Hey, we have a wonderful show lined up for you today. Fanbird mail. Every single day I receive mail from all around the world from my imaginary friends. Let's see what I got today. Here comes Fanbird. Bye, Fanbird. It says, Dear Steve, that's me. My name is Biz Marquis from New York. Thank you. Nobody beats the Biz. Thank you, Biz Marquis. Thank you. Please write again. Some of you are probably wondering, well, what's the translation? Biz Marquis asked, he said, hey, Steve, can you make a drawing of the human hand? And I replied, yes. So let's go, guys. Y'all ready to make some drawings today? These are the materials that you're going to need. You're going to need a number 2 pencil or softer. You're going to need paper of any size. And you're going to need an eraser. For our demonstration, I'm going to work with a marker so that we have good, strong contrast so that you can see it all at home and be able to follow along. So I have a model of a hand which we're going to work with. Put this on up. And one of the first things I like to tell students to do when we get ready to make a drawing, in particular anything we're trying to make, you want to first visualize it inside your head, inside of your mind. And you begin to think about the drawing before you actually start to do it. And in this concept, I want us to go back to one of our concepts which we've been talking about, which is the idea of the gestalt, which means the whole to the part. So when I see this hand, one of the first things I try to do is to simplify it. Because what a lot of people do is they get caught up with all the intricacies of the hand and say, oh my goodness, I have all these creases and all these shadows to deal with and all these different angles in which to deal with. Yes, you do have a lot of complex elements that are embedded within the drawing of the hand, but there's a way in which we can approach it to simplify what is there to make this a little bit easier for us to grasp. So using the concept of the gestalt, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the hand, I'm going to see what is the most basic shape I can break this form down to. So here we go. As I begin to look at the wrist formation, I begin to plot that in. And then I immediately begin to see what is the larger space that the hand sits inside of. This is the space where all this is operating at. Then the next step I begin to do is to begin to look for the next biggest shape. As you look, you see the wrist right here, and there's a diagonal relationship right here. Then I begin to see the other part of the hand falling up here, coming on up, and I can begin to define the palm of the hand. Next step I'm going to do is start to begin to break down the various fingers. So as I pull up, here's that forefinger. Look at the curve of it. Pull it up, just get the basic shape. Then I get the second finger, looking at that negative space right here. Following the next finger. Following the next finger. And down to the last finger on that side. And then next thing you want to do is you want to begin applying where the thumb is coming at. And if you look to see where the thumb is in relationship to the other finger, you can see that there's a straight line almost coming across where the thumb is slightly higher than. And I begin to plot that in as well. And from that point, most of you probably able to visualize I pretty much got the hand already because I have all the basic elements. Now it's about going back into and paying a little bit more closer attention to the actual details of the hand, and you're going to be able to get this thing to work in. So let's start following the steps. First thing we begin is to work with the thumb. And drawing with the thumb, I'm seeing that line curves around, pulling it on up, dropping it down, and you can begin to see I got that shape laid in. I'm paying attention to that negative space in between, because the negative space also creates a shape, and you want to pay attention to that in terms of your drawing. Look at the angle of that diagonal coming up, boom, pull it up. Then coming up to the next part of the finger, you see the first part of the digit, and you see the second, and you see the third at the top. Drawing it around, arc that line through to create the sense of volume. Arc that line through, arc that line through. And I got the angle. Pay close attention. If I put a vertical line here, you'll see that finger bends away from it. The vertical line, the finger bends away from it. Look at that negative space and that negative shape that's created in between. Next thing I'm going to do is coming over here to the next finger. Looking where the tip is going. It's lining up almost off of the start of that bottom digit there. So pulling it around, pull that up. And you can see the other portion of the finger, and I'm going to begin to define the shape of the fingernail. I move to the next finger. Notice, where does it go? That whole digit is like coming down below it. Look to see where the tip of the digit goes. It lines up inside the hand, right up in here. So now I'm going to pull that up and around. Pull this up and around, define the fingernail again. Move down to the last finger. Looking to see where does it go. It lines up right around here in terms of the hand, and then I drop it down, define that bottom digit, drop around the fingernail, pull it on up, and then I can define that outer part in here where you can see the crinkles inside of it. Dropping down, defining the palm a little bit more, coming to the internal part, defining the shape of the palm, and look at the creases inside of the hand. Begin to follow some of those and begin to define the internal parts of the hand. Then drop it down, drop it down. That quickly, I have a basis of the hand. I start off with just a simple, basic kind of shape to see the space that it occupies. Now I'm going to begin to locate the different values and tones. And as you can see, the wrist has a strong shadow right here. I'm just going to lay in that shadow really quick. Just kind of block it in using what is called a crosshatch line. Then I see another major shadow piece in the side of the hand. It's more faint and not as strong as that shadow. So I'm going to lighten my pressure, lay it in the direction that I see the value. Then I'm going to start laying in some tones and values on top of each one of the fingers, to begin to block those in, to get a sense of those tones and values. And you see how dark and rich the values are in here. Now you, of course, got to look at whatever hand in which you're working with and the skin tone of the person you're working with too. All those change all the value tones in the scale. Or depending on how much light is actually there, it changes all the values in terms of who you're working with. All right, I'm drawing around some more tones and values, wrapping around onto the hand. Get some more tones on the outside of the hand. Get some lighter tones inside of here. See that there's a little tone sitting underneath the finger as it's bending in space. And then on the thumb, There's an internal tone that sits inside of here, and get a little bit more value dropping in there. And then I'm start laying in just some general tones all around. Now, of course, with the values and tones, I can keep building layer upon layer to get the richness and get all the subtleties and the nuances of those tones if I just keep on going and drawing, seeing, investigating. But one thing I tell you, people all the time, a good house is built upon a strong foundation. And what I'm trying to show you with this exercise is how to go about seeing the foundation. And then you can put that veneer on the surface of it and build those values and tones. It's going to look beautiful. But you got to first have an understanding structurally how to go about attacking whatever you're seeing. See the simplicity and build the complexity on top of itself. Okay, folks? I hope that was helpful to you, because I know a lot of people have a lot of troubles with the hands. I'm going to continue on with this exploration and showing you some other processes and drawing some of those things that we consider to be very difficult. So remember, we have a virtual gallery, and all these drawings that you're doing with these workshops that I'm putting up online on YouTube, please submit to our virtual gallery and send your images to muscarelleinthehouse@gmail.com. And I repeat, muscarelleinthehouse@gmail.com. And you can become part of our virtual gallery at the Muscarelle Museum. So folks, that's another chapter. So today, I want to make sure I send out a special congratulations to all the graduates of the year 2020. And so as you make your move across that stage, or should I say virtual stage, know that we're here with you. So congratulations from the Muscarelle Museum. And remember, art is all around you. Must